Ben Vega wins tonight. Judy making history as Virginia's first Hispanic congresswoman. And I understand you're right now with the Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Earl-Sears, who made history last year.
That's right. Let's talk about the history here in Virginia. Joined now by Virginia's Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. Lieutenant Governor, it's probably not lost on you that you yourself made history. Not only as the first woman Lieutenant Governor, but black woman Lieutenant Governor as well. Jamaican American Lieutenant Governor as well. Leslie Vega could be the first Latina elected in Virginia for Congress. What are your thoughts right now as this race gets closer and closer? Less than 3,000 votes at this point, but this moment specifically.
Well, here's the thing. We're seeing Republicans outperform what we thought could happen in very heavily Democratic districts. So the fact that it's this close, and really she hasn't, Leslie Vega has not lost the lead since she took it. Now, there's still about 30,000 votes out there, so it might come down to the wire, and that's okay as long as she pulls it out. But the whole thing is she should not be doing as well as she's doing.
And to your point, what issues specifically do you think have allowed Republicans like Leslie Vega to gain some of those votes that you had just mentioned?
Well, just the fact of listening to the voters, just listening. What do they want? So that I know how to represent them. And the parents were telling us that they want to be involved in their children's education, number one, that crime is an issue. We need the prosecutors to have no cash bail gone and to prosecute. Just that's what your job title is, to prosecute. And then the border is an issue because Virginia is a border state. Every one of us has become a border state because the drugs are coming through and it's causing drugs to be the #1 unnatural death here in Virginia. And then, of course, it's the economy. It's always the economy. The money isn't going as far as it did. And yet we have our government telling us it's transitory, and that's only after they were forced to admit that inflation is here.
And on your point about the border, the kind of interpretation of what is a border state has changed ever since, Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott had sent migrants into other states as well.
Yeah, but I mean, the president has been flying under the dark of night immigrants who are not here legally from Texas and Arizona and those other states up into the New England areas, in New York, upstate New York, and elsewhere. So, don't lie to us. This is a farce. We need to know what's going on. Now, the government doesn't have to tell us everything, but don't lie to us.
Let me ask you about this race specifically. Going into this, it had been considered a bellwether of other congressional races right now in these hotly contested midterms. Given that this is so close right now, what's your outlook for other races across the country right now, similar to the Vegas-Bamberger race?
Well, those races that are close, we think that we'll pull them out. I think it's going to be a wonderful night for Republicans. And we're going to take back the House, most certainly. I don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. But I think more than anything, the president first must lead, and he must understand that we want him to listen to us, to pivot, and to shore up our oil reserves again, to make us a net oil producer where we were before he came into office. But more than anything, just leave us alone. Don't try to control our lives. This is about liberty. We're here for freedom.
Last question I have for you. The governor, Youngkin, had signaled that he was focused on these midterms right now and backing candidates like Leslie Vega. Question for you, he has been campaigning across the country right now. Do you foresee that he could be a contender for the Republican nominee for president?
Actually, I don't know what he's going to do. I know that he said he's focused on Virginia, and we've got a session coming up in January, and he's got to focus on that because we've got legislation that will be helpful to the people that we've got to get through. So you'd have to ask him what his next plans are.
If he ultimately does decide to run, would you support him?
I think it would be wonderful.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, like we said, guys, the vote margin between Leslie Vega and Abigail Spanberger, less than 3,000 votes right now. You just heard some of the posture from a leading Republican figure in Virginia politics, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. But we are certainly going to stay put here at the campaign watch party for Vega here in Woodbridge as these results continue to come in to our desk. Guys, back to you.
All right, Ben, certainly an exciting night.